All right, guys. Second part of the gun number for wind. I cleaned up the board a little bit, added the old data just so we have frame of reference, right? So nothing has changed on the left side. 308 round, 175 grain Sierra Match King, muzzle velocity of 2714. My gun, my ammo that I shoot day in, day out. DA, 0 feet. Combination of atmospherics, that's another class, another video, another day. But that's what we did the last video off of. I don't know if I referenced that, so that's why I'm bringing it up. Right? Our goal was finding our gun number for mile per hour, which means our hold is equal to our range for yards. So 100.1, 200.2, 300.3, 400.4, 500.5, 600.6. We identified for the 308 between that 600, 650 range is where we lose that ability. So at 700, we jumped up to a 0.8 instead of a 0.7. So we know 600 and in range to target for a 4 mile an hour full value wind is what I'm looking for ideally for this use, right? If it was an 8 mile an hour wind, then I can just double it. If it was a 6 mile an hour wind, I would multiply by 1.5 because 6 is 1.5 times larger than 4, so on and so forth. Okay, now step 2, like I was saying before in the other video, or at least I hope I did. If not, I'm saying it now. Everywhere you go, you have to check this, right? So the only thing I'm going to change on the right side of this board is density altitude of 4,000 feet. I'm not going to go through all the numbers and how to do that because there's a very good way you can mess it up. So I need a whole nother video to address that. But 4,000 feet, new location, new elevation, humidity, temperature, pressure, right? 4,000 feet. We're going to go through the numbers to show you how all of a sudden now, higher in elevation, higher in DA, the gun does not react the same, or the bullet does not react the same. Okay? So what was a 4 mile an hour gun, so we'll start with 4 mile an hour data because it makes the most sense. And again, wrote the notes on the paper already ahead of time to speed this up. All right, so we're looking at 0.07 for 4 mile an hour at 100, 0.15 at 2, 0.23 at 3, 0.31 at 4. 0.41 at 5. Lost my train of thought there. 0.51. So most of you guys, if you were following on from the last video, you'll already notice what happened here and how it obviously is different. Okay. I won't hit that yet. I'm going to put it right there for now. And then we'll hit 5 mile an hour and show you the data there before we get into this super crazy. 0.09 at a hundo, 0.18 at 2, 0.28 at 3, 0.39 at 4, 0.51 at 5, 0.63 at 6, 0.77 at 7, and 0.92 at 8. Now, like we did last time, we'll round, right, to the nearest number next to the decimal. So I'll put them in the center just so it's easier to see, right? So we're going 0.1, 0.2, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. So we can see here our numbers have dropped, right? So now we know that it takes more than 4 mile an hour wind to get us back to range to target for our wind call. So if we check these numbers out over here, right? 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. So if we look at the 5 mile an hour at a 4,000 density altitude, so a shift in elevation, our numbers match back up to what our 4 mile an hour was now at 5 mile an hour. So that means wherever I'm at, and we are at a 4,000 foot density altitude, whether it's Colorado, obviously it would be higher, Arizona, New Mexico, Canada, we have to check those numbers with the new atmospherics, right? To get our new DA to see that now I need to be thinking in a 5 mile an hour wind. 300, 5 mile an hour full value wind, range to target. 0.3 wind call, left or right depending on direction. Okay, same concept. The only thing we changed is our DA. Right. So again, new video will go over how we can simulate that on our ballistic solver, so we can get that information ahead of time. So then we just have to identify the DA, pull the right cards. If you'd like to have hard cards, depending on your application, right? So again, key factor here, DA is now at 4,000 as opposed to 0, where I'm at here in North Carolina. To match these numbers up to I have range to target, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, so on and so forth. Okay. If you guys have any questions, again, hit me up, let me know. We will go into how to simulate density altitude in the next video. Again, trying to keep these short and sweet.